All right, we are live. 1 second, I'm just gonna put everything on mute. Okay. Make sure if anybody tries to call me, because things like that always happen. Welcome to your week 10 Sun Salutation series. Again, my name is Collin. I am a 200-hour registered yoga teacher with Veterans Yoga Project. Today, we're going to be aiming for 80 Sun Salutations. I originally was 75, but I'm going to add on an extra 5 because we only have, counting this week, 3 weeks left. So next week is all about more support and getting ourselves ready for that last week and aiming for that 108. Today, we're going to be doing those 80, so 8 rounds or 10 rounds of 8. Actually, let's do 8 rounds of 10. We're gonna do 8 rounds of 10. I'm gonna warm us up, and then we're gonna jump right into them. All right, this should take about 90 minutes. We're gonna be moving pretty quickly, so again, go at your own pace. I'll talk more about that as we get started. But we are gonna start in a standing position in mountain pose. So with our feet underneath our hips, palms can be facing forward. Shoulders are dropped away from the ears. Crown of the head nice and tall. You're rocking back and forth on the feet here. You may notice again, I'm in that new space like I am every month. But I promise I'm not going anywhere this month. I'm staying put. All right. Hanging out here in mountain pose. Really want to warm our bodies up for today. But the beautiful thing about Sun Salutations is they are also a warm up. I'm just going to loosen up the hips here. We're going to loosen up the body. So we'll go ahead and inhale. The arms come up overhead. Reaching tall, slight back bend, engaging the core, tucking the tailbone underneath the hips. Exhale the arms back down to your side. Inhale one more time. Arms come up overhead. Grabbing the right wrist with that left hand. And then reaching over towards the left, extending that side body, pushing out that right hip. Inhaling, coming back to center, switching hands. So right hand grabs the left wrist this time. We'll take a nice big inhale, reach tall. And exhale, extending over towards the right, pushing that left hip out, away from the body. And coming back up to center, we'll drop the hands down to the side. Let me just do some shoulder shrugs. Whatever feels good in the body. Maybe shake the arms out, maybe shake the hands. Flap the arms like some chickens. All right. So inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, a forward fold. Don't worry, we're not moving the Sun Salutation just yet. Hang out here. Maybe rock from side to side. Just nice ragdoll forward fold. Opening up the hamstrings. Your next exhale, plant the hands. Step the feet back into downward facing dog. So pressing through the hands, still lifting the hips. A nice down dog, pedaling out the feet here. Dropping one heel down and the other as well. Identifying that right foot, we're going to lift that right foot up behind us. And then exhale, we're going to plant that right foot in between the hands. And we're not going to drop the knee just yet. So stay nice and high, hands still flat on the mat. Just hang out here, warming up the hamstrings, warming up the glutes, the quads, engaging our core, trying not to put all of our weight onto that right leg. If you can kind of lift off of that leg just a little bit. And lower that left knee down to the ground. Inhale, lift the chest to this runner's lunge. So the right knee is over the right ankle. pulling that right heel towards the midline of the body, almost like a pair of scissors. So you're closing the legs back together. So you're pulling the legs back together, tucking the tailbone, so tucking the butt down and under. Hands can be at the sides. You're ready. Place that left hand on the inside of that right leg. Hold here. 2 variations. So we'll take an inhale, and as you exhale, we'll open the chest out over to the right with the right fingertips up towards the sky. If that's too much for the shoulders, you can always take that right hand, place it on the hip, checking to see if the right knee is falling out away from the body. We'll exhale, place that right hand back down to the mat, lift that left knee off the mat, and place that right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Pedal the feet out here. If you'd like to take a movement with me, you can. Otherwise, you can stay in this down dog. So it's called a vinyasa flow. So we'll inhale, come into that nice plank position with the wrist underneath the shoulders. And we'll exhale, lower the chest down to the mat, untuck the toes, hands are beside the chest. Inhale, baby cobra, lifting the chest. Exhale, curl the toes, press with the hands. Maybe come up onto the knees first, downward facing dog. Identifying that left foot, we're moving right into the next side. Go ahead and lift that left foot off the mat, nice and high. And as you exhale, pull the knee in towards the nose, and then place that left foot in between the hands. Not dropping the knee just yet. Holding here. Almost like you're creating a straight spine, right? So we're not hunched over. Got a nice flat back. Reminding ourselves to breathe here. And go ahead and drop that right knee down to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Runner's lunge. So left knee over the left ankle. Pulling that left heel towards the midline of the body. And pulling that right hip towards the midline of the body. That right hip flexor. Tucking the tailbone, chest is nice and proud, lifting towards the crown of the head. Taking our right hand, reach towards the sky, fingertips come up towards the sky. We'll place the right hand on the inside of the left foot. And as you exhale, we'll open that chest over towards the left now. Again, your option to either place that left hand on the left hip or reach the left fingertips over towards the sky. Noticing if the left knee is falling out here. Exhale, drop that left hand down to the mat. Uncurl the toes, lift that right knee off the mat. Place that left foot back to meet the right in that downward facing dog. From here, we'll slowly walk our feet, our hands. Hang out this forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come onto the shins, flat back here. Exhale, forward fold one more time. Inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips down. Don't stand up just yet. We're going into that chair pose. So knees are just behind the toes. We're dropping the hips down, almost into the squat. Feet are about a fist width distance apart. Arms can either with the biceps along the ears, or you can have the arms to the side. Again, we're just waking up those quads, waking up those hamstrings. Exhale, forward fold. Press to the feet, rise to stand, Arms can come up overhead. And exhale. Hands can come back down at the side. All right. I'm going to adjust my mat real quick. All right, here we go. So we're going to be moving into 80 Sun Salutations today. We're going to do 8 rounds of 10. Yeah. So we're doing 8 rounds of 10 today. If you don't already have water nearby, take a minute, just go grab some water. We're going to be building up a lot of heat in our bodies today. Even if you're doing 40, 50, 60, 20, however many you're doing, it's always good to have water in your body for yourself. Always recommend it. All right, here we go. So we'll come to the top of our mat here. Palms can be facing forward. Toes are facing towards the front of our mat. Take this next 30 seconds. If you're grabbing water, still go grab your water. And before we do these 80 Sun Salutations, set intention for yourself for the next hour and 15 minutes. What is it that you are looking for in your Sun Salutations, but not holding expectations of what they might give you? Taking that moment to find that intention within yourself. Set that intention for yourself as well. Again, a lot comes up during Sun Salutations. Notice the emotions, but don't feed into them. Just notice them, notice that they're there, and fall back into the rhythm of your breath if you start to lose it. If you feel like you're wandering into emotions, just come back to the breath. Remember, each movement has its own breath cycle. All right, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and get started. How this is gonna work from here, and then as well as the last week, I'm gonna probably guide you in for the first 2. I'll give you cues, I'll put you in alignment in your body, and then from there, I'm gonna remain quiet for you to do however many you can at your own pace. After the 10, I will go into different resting poses for about 4 to 5 breaths to catch my breath, to reset myself, and then we'll move into the next round. So here we go. Palms can be facing forward, feet underneath the hips. Chest is nice and proud. Shoulders are dropped away from the ears. We'll inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. Lower yourself down to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra, pressing through the hands, lift the chest. Reach through the toes, curl the toes. Exhale, press into your downward facing dog. Take a breath here. And on your exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press through the feet. Come to rise, arms come up overhead. We're going to move right into that second one. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. Lower yourself down. And when you lower yourself down, make sure that the elbows are tucked in nice and tight to the body. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, curl the toes, press to the hands, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Next exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, root to rise, arms come up overhead. I'm going to remain silent for the next 8. Please go at your own pace. however many you're deciding to do. When you're ready to take your break, you can come down into wide-legged child's pose. The feet out wide or the knees out wide, toes are touching, pressing through the hands. Taking 4 breaths. If you're still doing your Sun Sals, please continue to do so. And just again, a gentle reminder that set your own goals, right? Set what works in your body. Because your body is completely different and your body's needs are completely different than every single person that shows up to class, right? We all have different goals. We all have different needs. Just respect whatever you need. If you're in that child's pose, go ahead and press up through the tops of the feet. Coming into that tabletop. Uncurl the toes. Press of the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Step the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet. Arms come up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Moving right into the next series. Set. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. Lower down. Uncurl the toes, press with the hands, lift the chest, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, press with the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Your next exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, arms come up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. Lower down. Uncurl the toes, press through the hands. Baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, press through the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Your next exhale, step or hop the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, root to rise. Move into your next 8, or however many you're setting for yourself. And remain silent for the next few minutes. And whenever you're ready to take your break, you can either come into child's pose. You can come into Sphinx pose with the elbows underneath the shoulders. Forearms are flat, right? And I'm going to remain silent the next few minutes. Again, take care of your body and what it needs. All right, just finished second round. I'm gonna move into that child's pose. You can meet me there if you'd like. You can hang out here for as long as you want. It's amazing what our bodies are capable of, whether it's one sun salutation, whether it's just showing up on the mat. Just reminding ourselves that our bodies have been through a lot, and practicing our yoga gives our body that rest, that recovery, that alignment of the breath and the body. When you're ready, you can come back up on the tabletop. If you would like to stay down in child's pose for a little longer, you're more than welcome to do so. Moving into our downward facing dog. Step the feet behind the hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Press of the feet, root to rise. And let the hands come down to the side. All right. Here we go. Next round. Again, this is round 3 of however many you are doing for yourself, whatever your goal is for tonight. I'm going for 80 if you are joining me. All right, third round. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, lower down to the mat. Uncurl the toes, press of the hands, lift the chest, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, press of the hands, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Next exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet. Root to rise, arms come overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands down to the mat, step the feet back, lower down. Inhale until it's good toes, press to the hands, lift the hip, or lift the chest, excuse me. Exhale, curl the toes, press to the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Next exhale, step the feet. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the hands, arm comes up overhead, and I'll leave you in silence for the next however many you're doing. I'm going to do 8. Whenever you're done with your round. You have two options. And you can drop down to that child's pose. The second option is to sit the sit bones down onto the heels, right? So we can sit our butt down onto our heels, stretching our quads. If that's too much for the ankles, you can always grab a blanket and place it underneath the calves. If it's still too much, you can stack blocks underneath the hips. It really lengthens out the quads here. Gives our hamstrings a break from all of that forward folds and as they extend, right? When we are doing our forward folds, extending our hamstrings. Sitting in a seated posture allows the hamstrings to have a little bit of a break, activate more of our quads. When you're ready, you can come back up onto the hands and knees. Curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Step the feet behind the hands. Halfway lift. And forward fold. Press to the feet, root to rise, arms come up overhead. And as you exhale, drop the hands down to the side. It's a mountain pose. All right, moving right into that next round. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, curl the toes, press to the hands. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Your next exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Arms come up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the feet back, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, curl the toes. Downward facing dog. Next exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Press to the feet, root to rise. And I'll leave you in silence for the next however many that you're going to be doing. And when you're ready to take a break, you can drop down to that child's pose. I won't meet there. I'm actually going to mute myself just for a minute. I think I might be breathing a little too loud. You were done with your rounds, being in child's pose, catching your breath here. You'd like to stretch out the low back, or excuse me, the upper back. You can come in at tabletop position. Identify that right hand. Slide that right hand underneath the left armpit. Drop that right ear down to the mat. Hang out here. Palm can be facing up. Opening up that right shoulder. The hand can either be directly in front of you or extended out long. Pressing to that left hand, we'll slide that right hand back out from underneath us. Set up for the next side. So making sure our wrist is in line with our shoulders. Identifying that left hand, left hand, we'll slide that left hand, palm facing up, out towards the right, dropping that left shoulder down towards the mat. Placing that left ear down to the mat, maybe extending the fingers out in front of us or long at the top of the mat. We're going to find our breath. Pressing through that right hand, so if the right hand was extended out long, we'll bring it back to that tabletop. Slide the left hand back out from underneath our right arm. Curl the toes, press to the hands, lift the hips down, facing dog. Next exhale, step the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, root to rise. And exhale, the hands back down to the side. All right. For those that are joining me on the 80, you're halfway there. We're making really good time. Noticing any changes that are happening in the body. We'll move right into that next round. So inhale, arms come up overhead. Just going to cue the first round this time. We've done 40. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, curl the toes, downward facing dog. Your next exhale, you can step those feet up behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, root to rise. And go ahead and move into the next 9 or however many you're taking this round. We've done 40 so far. I think you all have the hang of Sun Salutations. Again, I'm going to mute myself so you can't hear me breathing too loud. When you're ready, you can meet in that child's pose. We'll take 3 breaths here. When you're ready, you can come back up onto the hands and knees. Drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. Come into a cow pose. Exhale, pull the belly in towards the spine. You round the back, pressing the chin towards the chest, through the hands. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. And exhale, pull the belly in. Chin to chest. Come back in that neutral tabletop. Walk the hands out just a little bit in front of us. We'll curl the toes, press the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, root to rise, arms come up overhead. Exhale, the arms down to the side. All right. We'll move into our next round. Do what you need to do to take care of your body. You need to take a break. If you do decide this is all the Sun Salutation is going to do, please make sure to cool down properly, right? Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, curl the toes, press the hands, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, root to rise. And I'll leave you to it. Now remain silent as you complete this next round. And if you are going to take a break, we'll switch it up out of child's pose this time. And instead of doing child's pose, we'll come down onto our butts whenever you need a break. And we'll do a seated forward fold. So when you do go to take that break, you can come onto the butt. And then leading with the chest, good forward fold over the legs. You're in that seated forward fold. Maybe having something up underneath the hips. Maybe it's a block, bolster, or a blanket. Extend the feet out long, flexing the toes, so pulling them back towards the body or towards the shins, leaving their chest. Forward fold here. Not worrying about the end, not worrying about the beginning, just enjoying the now, enjoying the present. You're ready. Press out of that forward fold. Good, meeting gear. Moving the gear off to the side. Well, roll onto our hands and knees. Coming into that nice tabletop. Walk the hands out just a few inches in front of us. We'll curl the toes, press the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Exhale, step the feet and the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, root to rise, arms come over overhead. Exhale, the arms back down to the side. All right. It's 6 rounds. You were doing great. I'm here with you. I'm doing them with you. No matter how many you're doing, appreciate you all for being here. I appreciate you all who are watching this later. Just appreciate you taking the time to take care of yourself. All right, here we go. Next round. So inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, curl the toes, press with the hands. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Your next exhale, step those feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, root to rise, arms come over your head. And I'll leave you in silence for the next however many you're doing. And we'll meet in child's pose for that next one. And we'll go from there. Remember to take breaks when you need them. Listen to your body, anything it's trying to tell you. Especially if you're feeling any pinching. Right now we are resting in child's pose. Or you can rest in this easy pose with this. The glutes on top of the heels, stretching out our quads. If you are in that child's pose, coming onto the hands and knees. If you're joining me in the seated position, rock onto our hands and knees. Walk the fingers, the hands, a little bit out in front of the shoulders. We'll curl the toes, press through the hands, lift the hips down with facing dog. Next exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, arms come up overhead. Exhale, the hands down to your side. All right. This is the last round. This will be the last round. So we're going to do 10 more. That'll put us right at 80. Take this moment. Just check in with the body. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe the eyes are closed. Notice any sensations that may be occurring in your body right now. Inhale, the arms up overhead, looking at our fingertips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands down to the mat. Step the feet back, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Next exhale, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to the feet, roots arise. Arms come up overhead. Go ahead, do this last round on your own. And when you're done, we'll meet in child's pose. Child's pose. Taking this moment to reflect on yourself, on your body. Begin to deepen the breath. You slow the heart rate back down. Taking this moment to give yourself a smile for pushing through that very difficult Sun Salutation series. When you're ready, coming back into that tabletop. Wrist underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We'll slide our right knee forward behind our right wrist. We'll turn that right ankle in towards the left hand, coming in this king pigeon and sliding that and extending that left leg out long behind us. You can either stay up high in this position or exhale. You can walk the hands out in front of you and forward fold in this pigeon pose. And we'll stay here for 10 breaths. And when you're in this pigeon pose, a couple options. You can either stay on the forearms, you can come all the way down. If you're coming all the way down, sure you're not leaning on one side more than the other, ensuring that you're giving love to both sides, both that left hip flexor, the front part of our our left hip, the hip flexor, and our right glute. I'll leave you in silence for the next 5 breaths, and I'll bring us back and we'll move on to the other side. Sliding your hands, pressing through the palms as you lift yourself back up. We'll curl the left toes and slide the right foot back over towards the right, sliding that right knee now back under the right hip. Maybe shake out the tail. Any movements that you need to make for your body here. Sliding our left knee towards our left wrist. From here, sliding that left ankle over towards the right. Sitting back onto that left glute. Extending through that right toes. Either staying high in this king pigeon pose. If you're staying up high, lead with the chest. So almost like you're pulling the shoulder blades back, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears, engaging the core. If you're looking for more of a passive stretch, walk the hands down. And again, like I explained on the other side, noticing in the body if you're leaning more towards the left or more towards the right, we want to be right. right about in the middle, giving both sides equal love. Noticing if the mind is wandering off to somewhere else. Reminding ourselves to just breathe and be in this space. I'll leave you in silence for the next 4 breaths. Begin to slide the hands back towards the shoulders, pressing yourself up, lifting the chest. Begin to slide that left foot back over towards the left, sliding that left knee back underneath the right hip. Walk the fingers, or the hands, a couple inches out in front of us. We'll curl the toes, press the hands, lift the hips. Downward facing dog here. We'll drop to our knees. We'll come onto our sit bones, so on our butts. Bring the soles of the feet together. This seated butterfly or seated bound angle pose. You can take the hands, cup them underneath the pinky toes here. If that's too much, you can always grab the big toes, the ankles, whatever works for you. From here, I'm going to press our knees down towards the floor. While doing so, lifting through the top of the head, extending out our spine here. And exhale, leading with our chest. We'll fold just forward just a little bit, maybe walking the hands out in front of you. Not rounding here. We're lengthening through the crown of our head. Imagine creating a straight line from the top of your head all the way down your back. The chin is just slightly tucked in. Your next exhale, round out the back. Allow the body to fully rest in this pose. Chin can drop towards the chest. Using the hands to press back up. Nice tall spine. You can lower yourselves down onto your backs. allowing the knees to fall from side to side. We'll hug the knees in towards the chest. Exhaling all the breath out here. Take a nice full deep inhale one more time. And as you exhale, guiding the knees over towards the right with the right hands. Left arm can extend out towards the left. Knees can stack on top of one another. A gentle spinal twist here. Left shoulder still engaged with the ground. You can place that right hand on top of the left knee. Inhaling, coming back to center. We'll switch sides. So hugging the knees towards the chest. Fully exhale. Inhale, place that left hand on the outside of the right knee. And as you exhale, drop the knees over towards the left. Extending that right arm long, right shoulder blade still engaged into the ground. Next inhale, bring the knees back up towards center, using that left hand to guide yourself back up. And drop the feet flat to the mat. Walk the knees, the feet out to the edges of the mat and allow the knees to fall in towards one another. Take 3 breaths here. On your last breath, take a nice deep inhale all the way to fill up the belly all the way to the top of the chest. And then sigh it out. Let it all go. Extend the feet out long. Come into our final pose for the evening, our Shavasana. Palms can be facing up or down, whichever's comfortable for you. Blanket underneath the knees. Toes are falling towards the edges of the mat. As you get set up in your Shavasana, I'm going to come to a seated position. You're getting settled into your body for the next few minutes. Take a moment to notice any differences from the beginning of your practice to now. Tonight, I will not be leading us through a guided body scan. I invite you all to just practice doing that yourselves. I'll remain silent for the next few minutes, and I'll bring you back to close our practice. Begin to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. If you would like to stay in Shavasana, please do so for however long you need to rest. No rush. Wiggling the fingers, toes, making any small movements to wake your body up. When you're ready, roll onto one side. Stacking the knees, arm coming underneath the head. Keeping the eyes closed as you press yourself up. Taking a moment here to give yourself gratitude for taking this time out of your day to come to a very difficult class. It's not easy. But you're here, you showed up for yourself, did as many sun salutations as you could, whether that be 80, whether that be 70, however many you did something. We'll bring the palms of our hands together, the thumbs touching the center of the chest. We'll take a nice deep inhale together. Slowly let it back out with a sigh. Drop our chins towards our chest. We'll bow to one another and respect and gratitude for showing up for themselves today, or each and every one of you. Thank you all for coming tonight. That's week 10 of your week 12 or 12 weeks of Sun Salutations. That was 80 Sun Salutations. We'll have class on Thursday. It'll be a very restorative. Really trying to counterpose a lot of these movements that we did today. It's very exhausting. Drink lots of water. Journal prompts. What motivates me to get my day started? Whether that be coming to yoga, whether that's family, whether that's your dog, cat, animal. What motivates me to get up every day? My name is Collin. If you have any questions for me, always feel free to reach out and ask myself or Alex. And that's all I have. See you all on Thursday.